Well, folks, happy Tuesday and welcome back to the channel. I am your regular dude, B. Riley. You can see my name right up over there. It's fun. And today we have a bit of a story that's admittedly got me really not too happy about it. So any of you guys who follow the channel, you've probably already seen maybe at least one or two of the videos that have our restoration on the 65 Fender Jaguar. Well, you know, it's missing. It's gone, and we don't know where it is. It's lost. It went through the shipper on the 14th of March, and it disappeared on the 15th of March. Started getting texts from the seller, so let me go ahead and see if I can't describe it for you guys to kind of give you the cliff notes so that you know where I'm sitting. So on March 14th, well, actually, I'm sorry. On March 13th, guitar got sold. Somebody sent me an offer, and it was a great fair offer, and they were actually hailing from a place in the country where I had lived for a while, so it was cool. We were chatting it up back and forth. Great buyer. Very, very patient. And after about 2 days, this would have been about the 16th, he sent me a message, and he says, the tracking data is not updating. There's no change in it. It's not moving. It just says label created. Now, I jumped on this really quick, and the reason is because I've bought guitars from people online, and then they drag their feet to ship. You know, and there's a lot of money involved. So you don't want to hold anybody up. You don't want to be unprofessional. You know, so you try to be as rapid a responder as possible. So anyway, he sends me a message. And he says that the tracking data has not been updated. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. So I get on there, no tracking data. I have a receipt. I have a packing slip. I have a tracking number. This thing went out on the 14th. I watched them pack it and put it in the back. Now, the gentleman who I talked to there is a person who I've spoken to a multitude of times, and I consider him a trustworthy soul, at least as far as my judgment goes. And I spoke with him, and he says he's got footage of this thing getting on the truck. That's where the trail goes cold. Somewhere between the 15th and the 16th, a scan was not performed on the item, and the guitar disappeared in transit. And now it's been 6 or 7 days. The guitar is still not turned up. And even stranger is that corporate doesn't know where it is. The shop doesn't know where it is. Nobody can conclusively say who's got it or where it is resting. And then just this morning, an origin scan popped up in New Jersey, which is not where it was supposed to go. It's in a part of Jersey and I'm from the Northeast, so I'm relatively familiar with it. That doesn't seem like a very typical drop-off point. So something's gone wrong here. And we don't even know if that tracking number is still attached to that guitar. If somebody really wanted to play a game in the middle of transit and they knew what it was worth, you know, maybe they could. I don't know. I don't work for UPS, so I'm not really too sure. And this isn't the first time that this has ever happened. But admittedly, it's pretty impactful for me for a couple of reasons. I've done a bunch of big builds. I've been doing builds for a very, very long time. Some of them are great. Some of them I felt needed improvement. But that guitar was the first big build I did for this channel. We did the Relic before, but the Jag was the first like historic build. So I put a lot of energy into it. And I had been working on that thing for months. And now I'm really upset because I don't get to hear about this thing being revered wherever it went. I don't get to hear about the buyer telling me about how great of an item it is. I just don't know where it is. And it sucks a whole lot. And this is one of the occupational hazards of outsourcing certain components of your business. You know, you're putting your name on the line for a shipper that maybe is a bit careless with gear. Anyway, that brings you up to speed. I have spoken with corporate so far. They just keep putting me in an automated loop that puts me back to the store. Then I'll call the store. They send me claim slips for corporate, which I file. And then they get rejected over and over again because there are errors on the page. Finally, after 4 hours, I actually managed to get the claim to go through. So we do have a claim going through, and there's an investigation there. Coincidentally, the investigation started about 3 hours before the most recent origin scan. Almost as though they were calling different shops, and all of a sudden somebody saw this coming down and then scanned it. Either because they forgot or whatever their motives, I don't know. I wouldn't want to assume. So it's still nowhere to be found. I talked to the buyer today. He says that his delivery came through this morning and that the guitar was not there. And also that his driver said that it was a really peculiar situation that seemed it seemed hinky. It just didn't seem good. So that is what we're doing. So I guess this is kind of like part 5 of the Jag series, is finding out that unfortunately we don't get to know exactly where it went. I will keep you guys updated on this, but if by chance in another month or two this has not been resolved and the guitar is gone missing, and maybe you came across it in the near future and you stumbled across this video, or if you have any information right now, or if you come across information later on, guitars like this are very unique. They have kind of a fingerprint look to them, the nitrate guard and everything like that. And the finish is good enough where I feel like somebody would probably be pretty reluctant to try to spray paint it, to cover it up, to try to mask the origin of the guitar. We have the serial number, we've submitted it to UPS, and we're going to take steps as they come along. But it sucks because this kind of echoes for me. My first real guitar, if you watch the Strat episodes, was a white Strat. It was a white made in Japan Strat that my mom got me before she passed away. And unfortunately, that's the thing about people passing away. You can't get that gift back. That thing is gone. And, I'm just wondering if maybe I'm just jinxed with white guitars. Every time I have a white guitar come across my path, something happens where it's broken or stolen or whatever. Maybe I just got something stuck in my head. You build something, you take all that time, and all you really want to do is see somebody use it. See somebody who's like a real killer on guitar, just rip this thing in half, just absolutely create all this great noise. And now I'm pissed because I don't get to experience that. I was talking online this morning about it, Instagram, and I basically said it's like building a roller coaster, and sitting there picturing everybody having this great time on this thing, and it being enjoyed and, used to its fullest potential. And then all of a sudden you find out that there's a possibility that somebody might have lifted it. They're going to stick it underneath, the carpet of their trunk of their car and hide it and stuff it under a bed somewhere, not use it, not play it out because they're going to be worried about being spotted or something like that. It's just no way for an instrument to exist. Anyway, promise a more cheerful video is on your way in just a couple of days. Apologies for the delay, but admittedly, my car was ran into by a truck a couple days ago, so I'm dealing with that insurance company right now. And I am also now dealing with UPS and their locations, corporate, everything, and trying to make sure that the buyer understands that I'm doing my level best to make sure that they get met with what they need. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Keep your eyes open on the Instagram page for updates there and stuff like that. And, I guess we'll see if it ever turns up.